Hello everyone and welcome to the MABSA's podcast, your go-to space for real estate investments and community growth. I'm your host, Marian Tabane, and today we have an exciting conversation lined up with Nawal, Dalxa, Golden and Magical Moha, who will be taking us through key questions on land investment. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Let's dive right into our episode. Let's start with our first interviewee, Nawal. Nawal, your question is, land investment is such an important subject right now. To kick things off, what makes MABSA's land a savior or more profitable investment compared to the other real estate assets?
Thank you, Marianne. So let's get right into it. Number one, for a land to be safe, you need legitimate title deed, which MABSA provides, obviously. To have legal proof of ownership, it defines the boundaries and right over your land, and it also supports sell, lease, or use as collateral in the future. So number two, land doesn't depreciate. It doesn't wear out or need maintenance like buildings do. So there is no structure to insure, renovate, or replace. Number three, it has appreciation potential. Well-located land near urban sprawl or infrastructure or rezoning areas can significantly increase in value over time. So buy low, hold, and sell high in common is like a common strategy, of course. Number four, it has development upside. Investors can flip the land for developers to build on itself, like residentials and commercials, etc. Rezoning or subdivision can multiply its value. Number five, we're going, so bear with me. Number five, lower holdings cost property taxes and insurance are usually much more than developed real estate. No tenants equals to no management, no repairs, no vacancy stress. Number six, limited supply. They're not making any more of it. Okay, the scarcity can drive they can drive long-term appreciation, especially near growing cities or infrastructure projects. Number seven, no tenant risk. So yeah, email. Okay, wait. Number seven, no tenant risk. You don't deal with tenants, leases, evictions, or damages, which lowers financial and legal risks. Number eight, low competition. Most investors ignore raw land due to lack of immediate cash flow, which means better deals for those who understand its value. Number nine, the seller has financing opportunities. Many land deals are done via seller financing, which can mean less upfront capital and better returns for buyers or sellers. So there are things to watch out for to be safe. Zoning and use restrictions, because not all land is buildable or suitable for your goals. Have a look at access and utilities. Lack of road access, water, power can limit the value of the land. Look out for longer time horizons. Land often appreciates slowly unless near major developments, so you have to look at that. And also lack of cash flow. Unlike rentals, land typically doesn't pay you monthly unless creatively leased. Illiquidity, selling land can take longer than selling a house or an apartment. You should also know that. If you want to make money off of it, there are creative use of options like leasing land for cell towers, billboard advertisement, farming, parking lots, RV or storage lots. This can generate passive income without heavy infrastructure. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Nawal. That is such a great information for anyone who is interested dealing with MABSA Group as to why they should opt for land investment rather than apartments or any other assets. Let's now hear from Dalxa, our next interviewee. Dalxa, your question is, do flexible payments plan really make it easier for people to invest in land?
Marian, thank you for the question. Easy to start. Instead of buying the full price upfront, buyers can start with a deposit and spread the rest over months or years. Encourage first-time buyers. That's the second answer. People who can't raise a lump sum get a chance to own a land. The last answer, attract more investors. Installment open the market. Salaried workers, small business owners, and even desperate investors.
Interesting perspective, Dalxa. Golden, let me come to you with an interesting question that most of our viewers are curious about. And your question is, what are the common mistakes that first-time land buyers often make?
Thank you, Marian, for that question. So I will list some of the few mistakes that first-time land buyers make. On to my first point is not verifying land ownership. This is failing to confirm if the seller is the true legal owner of the land through a title deed search. My second point is skipping due diligence. This is not checking if the land has disputes, court cases, or family inheritance issues. My third point is ignoring zoning and regulation. Buying land without knowing whether it's residential, agricultural, or commercial, which limits how you can use it, not checking accessibility, overlooking road access, distance to main highways, and ease of transport. My fourth point is forgetting about utilities and amenities. This is ignoring the availability of water, electricity, drainage, schools, and hospitals nearby. My fifth point is overlooking hidden costs, focusing only on purchase price while ignoring transfer fees, stamp duty, legal charges, and development levies. My sixth point is not inspecting the land physically, relying only on maps, photos, or promises without visiting the site to see boundaries, terrain, or flooding risks. My seventh point is failing to confirm survey and boundaries, not ensuring the land is surveyed and marked properly to avoid encroachment disputes. My eighth point is trusting verbal agreements, making payment without proper sale agreements, receipts, or lawyer involvement. Last but not least is falling for unrealistic offers. This is being lured by extremely cheap land deals without questioning why it's undervalued. Thank you.
Golden, that is a very important point. I hope that was useful to anyone who is interested buying a land. I like to wrap this interview with magical Moha. And your question is, what red flags should investors watch out when dealing with real estate companies?
Well, Marian, thank you so much. There are a couple of things that any investor should have to look for when purchasing a piece of land or dealing with any companies. And let's be specific to this, land selling companies for now, because we are dealing with similar companies like MABSA Group Agency Limited. So land selling companies can be very risky because land is a long-term investment or project, and in many regions, scams or unethical practices are common. For now, I'll give 2 or 3 common red flags that investors should watch out for when dealing with land selling companies. One of the red flags that an investor should look for when dealing with land selling companies is the legal and documentation of, maybe the title deeds. If the title are genuine, the companies can't show the original ownership of the documents. So if the company is not ready to show you the original documents, then it means that is a red flag. Unclear land ownership history. When purchasing a piece of land, for example, or dealing with land selling companies, you'll also need to see the clearness or the clarity of the land. If the land may be under dispute, government owned, or inherited without proper succession. The other thing that an investor should look for, or the red flag that he may encounter, is the fake or forged documents. Some companies, provide you with mismatched details, missing official stamps, or even unverifiable records, and that's a red flag also. The other thing is failure to involve lawyers or government registries. Some companies, they just discourage you, or they discourage the buyers from verifying with land offices, and that's another red flag. Let's move on to the second major point, which is when dealing with companies and the red flags that you may encounter with the company and the management. For example, you have unregistered or unlicensed company, not listed with the relevant authorities. For example, in short, the companies are not maybe registered or with the government. That is another red flag. Frequent name changes. For example, yesterday the company was ABZ Real Estate Company, and then today it's ABC. So that means that's already a red flag because the company keeps on changing the name. The other thing is lack of physical office. any operating company which is relevant should have physical office that you can come to, not only operating through social media or agents with no traceable premises. The other thing is high staff turnover. What do I mean by high staff turnover? Sometimes there are frequent exits of sales agents or managers. You see the sales manager being changed day after day. So that means there are internal crises within the company, and that is a sign of internal issues. So that's another red flag. One of the other major things that you'll have to look for if you are an investor, dealing with these land selling companies, is the sales and marketing red flags. Sometimes you see, too good to be true prices. Land sold far below market value. For example, a neighboring, land selling company is selling a land for 300,000 Kenyan shillings, and then the same piece, of land is being sold in a neighboring estate at 100,000 shillings. So it means there's a red flag there that you'll have to look for. High pressure sales tactics also, offer only valid today or forcing buyers to commit without due diligence. So ni ile kuuza haraka haraka ile land, unaambiwa hiyo offer is just there for today, so you'll have to buy it today or never. So inamaanisha that sometimes haupatiwi ile muda, ama you are not given that time to do your own due diligence. So that's another red flag. And then no site visits allowed. That's common in Kenyan ways, or some companies, they only show you a different well-developed area instead of the actual plots. That's what they normally do. And sana, this goes to the foreign investors who are not in the country. You'll have to take care of that also. Be very careful. Another major thing that I'll have to talk about, these red flags that you have to look for, is the payment and transaction. Some companies give you the cash-only deals. They are not transaction ile reference to look for in the future. So there's no bank account, no traceable banking, channels. So in future, itakuwa ngumu sana kujua that you dealt with a certain company. Even if you go to the court, it will be very difficult for them to trace. The other thing is unclear payment schedules. There are hidden charges. Unaambiwa the land is maybe 1 million Kenyan shillings, and then you are requested to pay additional charges, maybe for the title fee, processing, whatever, the roads. So that is another red flag you'll have to look for before buying a piece of land or dealing with a land selling company. The other thing is no formal sale agreement. What do I mean by no formal sale agreement? Sometimes contracts that heavily favor the company and disadvantage the buyer. Yeah, so you have to look for that red flag too when buying a piece of land. I'll also have to look to talk about the refusal to give receipts or acknowledgements to the company. Sometimes these companies, they don't give you the receipts or the invoices that you paid the money with. So they leave you without proof of payment. So I wish I could have added more if I had the time, but unfortunately time is not on our side. So thank you so much, Marian, and good day.
Thank you, Magical Moha. I hope anyone who is interested in buying a land knows the red flags to look out for. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of MABSA's podcast. A big thank you to our amazing guests, Nawal, Dalxa, Golden, and Magical, for sharing such valuable insights on land investment. To our listeners, we hope you found this conversation useful as you think about your own journey in real estate and building a future. Don't forget to follow MABSA's podcast for more episodes on investment, community growth, and opportunities in real estate sector. I'm your host, Marian Tavane. Until next time, stay updated and keep building your legacy with MABSA Group Agency Limited.